It is that time again. Hi, my name is Jeanette, and I want to thank you for joining me on the channel Jane Reads. So today I'm going to be playing my TBR Bonkers game to decide or to find out what books are going to be on my May TBR. But before we get into the gameplay, let's have a brief chat about April. So I had 10 books on my April TBR, 8 from different prompts, like from the dice that made me give, and then 2 extras because it was part of a series. So then I had, did I only have 1 book left over from March? I don't remember now, but I do know that my John Grisham book was left over from March. I think that was the only book that was left over. And as you can see, I am making progress. I will easily finish this before the end of the month. So good. Then out of the 10 books, I have 4 left. I am currently reading The Supper Club, and I'm a third of the way in. I will easily finish this before the end of the month. Not an issue. So that leaves me the 3 in the Courtney Walsh series. This is the Nantucket Love Story series. And I hope to at least finish 1, maybe 2. It is only the 24th today when I'm filming this, so that's 6 more days, if I count today. 5 more days. I still gotta finish that one. I will definitely finish 1, for sure, possibly 2. So that will be carrying over 1 or 2 books. So that's where we're starting. Then for May, what books am I hoping to get on this TBR? I have a lot in my mind that I need to get onto this TBR, so we'll see. Will the prompts help me with that? So the first one is The Hiding Place by Corrie ten Boom. This is the read-along with Krista from Books and Jams, so I will link her announcement video below, and this is the book that we're reading for the month of May. I do not currently own that book, but I am going to be ordering it, and I will have it in my hands the first week of May because I hope to go to my brother's Christian bookstore to get it from him. So yes, so I will definitely be reading that one in the month of May. Then I do have an advanced reader copy of Secondary Target by Angela, I did not write down her last name, Carlisle. I know it's in here. Yes, Carlisle. And this one is releasing on May the 7th. This is a debut author, but it was blurred by Lane Blackburn, so I'm really excited to read this one. Then for my challenges. So my challenge, my Christian fiction challenge, my May prompt is a 1-word title. So I have a book with a 1-word title that I'm hoping to read. I have a couple options, but there's one that I really would like to read more than the others. Then I also posted a video with recommendations for a number in the title, so I'm hoping maybe I can get that done in May as well, but that's not, I don't have to if I don't. Can't get it on. Then we have Oshina's Christian Romance Challenge, and she hasn't done them by months, but I am following them in month order. And so for May, it is one with a cute cover. So that should be fairly easy to fulfill. I don't have anything like kind of written down for that one. Then we have Katie's Read Around the World Challenge. And again, she hasn't numbered them, but you do have to move in order. And so I am at Set in a Place You Have Lived. Well, that's a little challenging. I've only lived in Canada, but I do have 1 book that is set in Toronto, and I did live in Toronto for a couple years between the ages of 8 and 10 or 9 and 11, somewhere in that bracket. Grade 4 and 5. So yes, so I have 1 book, 1 option for that one. Then we have Chantel's Read Your Bookshelf Challenge, and I did find somebody with a character with red hair for April. So I'm moving on to May, and I want to stay on the Doyle path because of the prompts going forward. So I need to read a book with a new to you author. And that's a little challenging because I don't have that many new to me authors, especially when I read 3 this month. But, oh, wow. It just all of a sudden came to me. Angela Carlisle. It's a debut author. I've never read anything by her before, and that's the arc I want to read. Why didn't I think of that before? Well, okay. That goes for this challenge. So that is all my yearly challenges. And then in the month of May, Amanda from Book Lover Amanda is doing the Southern Charm Readathon. So I have printed off the prompts, if I can find it. So I have printed off, ignore this, I have printed off the ones with all her prompt options, and then I printed a second one so that I can put the book covers in once I've read the book. I have not chosen books for these prompts, but a lot of them are fairly, I should be able to fit a book into them. So that is where we're starting. Now let's go to the game board, get it set up, and see what our first prompt is gonna be. Okay, roll number 1 is a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Set in the U.S. First prompt is set in the U.S. Okay, so I'm going to read Secondary Target by Angela Carlisle. This says, after the brutal murder of her mother and brother 12 years ago, Corina built a new life in Kentucky. But then strange things began to happen, and she's thrust into a perilous? I know what the word is in my head, I just can't say it. To a game of life and death. With nowhere else to turn, her best hope of survival depends on her ex, an Army veteran, Bryce Jessup. Recently returned from the service, Bryce has every intention of staying away from Corina. But when threats close in around her, he isn't willing to leave her safety to chance. As their search for answers uncovers lethal secrets her detective father kept hidden, Bryce and Corina must untangle the mystery of the merciless killer intent on terrorizing and eliminating Corina's family before it's too late. So it's set in Kentucky, which is in the United States. Okay, let's go back to the board for roll number 2. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Forward 2. 1, 2. It's with all the yellow. The colors don't mean anything, but... Oh, perfect! Hey, this worked out perfectly. Set in Canada. Couldn't plan that, could I? Okay. So, I'm going to read The Best of Intentions by Suzanne Ann Mason. No, Susan Ann Mason. This is book number 1 of the Canadian Crossings series. And it says, in the aftermath of tragedy, Grace hopes to reclaim her nephew from the relatives who rejected her sister because of her class. Under an alias, she becomes the nephew's nanny to observe the formidable family up close. Unexpectedly, she begins to fall for the boy's guardian, who is promised to another. Can Grace protect her nephew and her heart? And this is the one that is set in Toronto. That worked out great for me. Okay, so that is the second book down. Let's go back to the board and see what happens on roll number 3. Okay. I've got a W on every roll so far. Okay, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
forward 6. Well, at least when the W's aren't helping me, that's helping me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A borrowed book.
The prompt I got was a borrowed book. And I currently don't have any borrowed books from friends. However, I do have, I should have grabbed the other two. I have borrowed all 3 of these from our library. Now, I do plan on reading this one this month, hopefully this one this month. I don't think I'll get to this one this month. However, I do own this on my Kindle. I just borrowed the physical copy so that it would be easier to hold it when I was talking about the wrap up and stuff. And I'm really enjoying reading physical, so I thought, I'll get it. So because it's kind of already on my TBR, I can't really add it, right? As tempting as that is. But then I was like, oh, what other books can I get from the library that I don't own that I really want to read? However, I finally found one that should have been in the top of my mind, but it wasn't, is One Little Lie by Colleen Coble. This is book 1 of the Pelican Harbor series, and it has a number in the title, One Little Lie. And I know I can get this from our church library. So it says, it started with one little lie, but Jane Hardy will do everything in her power to uncover the truth. Book 1 in the gripping new series from USA Today best-selling author Colleen Coble. When Jane Hardy is appointed interim sheriff in Pelican Harbor, Alabama, after her father retires, there's no time for an adjustment period. He is arrested for theft and then implicated in a recent murder, and Jane quickly realizes she's facing someone out to destroy her father. So I talked about this one in my number in the title video. I'll link that video below that just went up. And yeah, so this is the one that I'm going to read, so that will check off that prompt on my yearly challenge as well. Okay, let's go back to the board and see what happens with rule number 4.
Okay. Roll number 4. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go to lose.
So I landed on the lose spot. I really need to get some cards made for the lose spot to add some variety to this, but for now it is a John Grisham book. So the one that I have is The Associate, and this is on my 24 books to reread this year, and this is the last John Grisham book that I have left on that board. There was 4 of them at the beginning. And so I will get this one read, and then it's time for me to make a decision about my John Grishams. I'm still iffy. I think I've made a decision, but then I read a little bit more of one, and my decision's not made anymore. So I am working my way through all the ones I own. So anyways, so this is The Associate, and it says, Kyle McAvoy possesses an outstanding legal mind. Good-looking and affable, he has a glittering future. He also has a dark secret that could destroy his dreams, his career, even his life. One night, that secret catches up with him. The men who accost Kyle have a compromising video they'll use to ruin him, unless he does exactly what they say. Okay, so that will be book number 4. Let's go back to the board and see what happens on roll number 5.
Okay, we're back. 8, and look, another W. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oldest on TBR.
Okay, so the prompt is oldest on TBR. So I went to my spreadsheet, and my oldest book is The Confession by Robert Whitlow. I purchased this December of 2014. Almost 10 years ago. Okay, so it says, confession is good for the soul, but it could mean death to an ambitious young lawyer. Assistant DA Holt Douglas has made a career of getting confessions from criminals. With a confession in hand, he knows a guilty plea is soon to follow. In the midst of professional success, Holt is haunted by a secret, a lie he buried in the grave of his best friend. Holt's crime is hidden from all eyes, family, friends, police, and his soon-to-be fiancé. But the truth has a way of coming back to life. I have heard really good things about this very recently, actually. So I'm like, okay, it is time to read it. I mean, as I said, it's almost 10 years old on my TBR. It is on my Kindle, so that is another Kindle book. That is 3 Kindle books so far out of 5. Like, wow. Okay, let's go back to the board and see what happens on roll number 6.
Okay, roll number 6. 10 and, what do you know? A W. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Are you kidding me?
Okay, so those lose spots are getting more and more important. I landed on go to lose, went back to lose, so I need to read a John Grisham book. But as I said, The Associate was the last one of the 4 that was on my must-read this year. I have 16 other John Grisham books on my shelf. But how do I choose which one? Well, I thought let's just put all the titles in a wheel, let the wheel choose for me. So that's what we're going to do. So let's spin and see what book I'll be reading. The Broker. Okay, let me grab that. The Broker. First, let me say, do all these titles, The Associate, The Confession, The Broker, can they count as one-word titles? Except for the fact that none of them... Oh, this Confession is a Christian fiction. And they must be a Christian fiction for my reading challenge. But, yeah. Wow. Okay. In his final hours in office, the outgoing president grants a controversial last-minute pardon to Joel Backman, a notorious Washington power broker who has spent the last 6 months hidden away in a federal prison. What no one knows is that the president issues the pardon only after receiving enormous pressure from the CIA. It seems Backman and his power broker heyday may have obtained secrets that compromise the world's most sophisticated satellite surveillance systems. Okay, I have read this. I've read all my Grishams, but it was 15, 20 years ago. When was this one published? Let's see. This book was published in 2005. So almost 20 years ago. Yeah. Okay. That is book number 6. Let's go back to the board and see what happens with roll number 7.
Okay, now that we're back up here again, can we get past this lose spot? 8 and another W. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Being there, so I have to draw from the side here. And what is this one?
Okay, so I got highest rated. So I've gone to my Goodreads, pulled it up, and for all my owned books, I've sorted by the rating. My highest rated is Big Apple Atonement by Carolyn Miller at 4.61. However, this is book 5 of a series. I am not there yet. I'm only on book 3. Like, I need to read book 3. Okay, so my next highest rated is Henley by Shanna Hatfield. This is rated 4.6. It is book 2 of a series. However, this is a multi-author series. that said you do not have to read in order. So I'm going to break my must read a series in order because Shanna Hatfield is the only author of the series that I really want to read, and it's the only one I own. So that is the one I'm going to add to my TBR. So I need to pull it up to tell you what it's about. So it is a historical romance, and it says, love is a gamble and heartbreak is a risk she's willing to take. Despite her dreams to set down roots, Henley Jones has never had a place to call home. She spent her life on riverboats and railroad cars, tagging along with her gambling father. A shootout during a card game results in his death, leaving Henley alone and nearly penniless. Out of luck and options, Henley agrees to travel across the country to the newly established town of Holiday, Oregon, to marry a stranger. So yes, that is going to be the one I read, and I have high hopes for it because I really enjoyed a lot of Shanna Hatfield's books, and this is set in the town of Holiday, Oregon, which I know from her other series that is also set there, which is also partly historical, so maybe some characters will cross over. I don't know. Okay, let's go back to the board and see what happens on roll number 8.
Okay, so we're back. Are we going to have a repeat of what happened? Let's hope not. 7 and 4 make 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, thank you. Okay.
Okay, so I got BFF free pick. This means that Christine gets to pick my read for me, and she has no restrictions on what she's choosing for me. That is really dangerous. I hope you're happy, Christine. Okay, so I have no idea what she's going to choose for me. Could she please choose The Hiding Place, which I need to get on this TBR, or a book with a one-word title that's a Christian fiction? Those are really the only two ones that I really need to complete my May challenges. But it is a free pick. She can choose whatever she wants, so here's the book that she's picked for me. And now we go back to the board and hope this is the last roll.
Okay. I just need a 5 or greater to end this game. And we got a 5. And of course we got another W. Why not? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, so we made it to the end spot. And now I need to spin my wheel for my TBR bingo board, and what book is it going to choose for me? I have not taken off last month's book off this list because I have not read it yet, and it's the one that I don't think I will get it read before the end of April. So maybe the wheel will be nice to me, but then is that maybe cheating? Let's see what happens with the spin. One more. Thank you. Oh, I thought for sure it was going to land on like number 4 of a series. Okay, so it has landed on Someone to Trust. This is definitely on my Kindle. So wow, we have a Kindle heavy month. But, okay, Someone to Trust. I'm pretty sure it's by Melanie D. Snitker, but I'm going to look that up to check. Yes, it is by Melanie D. Snitker, and it is book 2 of the Life Unexpected series, and I have read book 1, so this will be continuing a series. And it says, she wants to give him her heart. He wants to give her the best chance at a happy life. They're headed separate ways until faith steps in. Chess Summers never got to have a real family growing up. Thankfully, his makeshift family of former foster kids has given him a sense of belonging he's always been missing. However, insecurities about his dark past may cost him the future he longs for, especially when it comes to Brooke, the spunky and beautiful woman he has found himself falling for. He's determined to protect her and convinced she deserves someone much better than him. Okay, so I'm looking forward to this book because we have met Chess and Brooke in book 1. And so I'm hoping, because we saw them in book 1, that we will see the characters from book 1 in book number 2. I don't know. Those are the books that are on my May TBR. So I didn't get all the books that I wanted on my TBR, but I did get a lot of Kindle books, which is good because I haven't been reading a ton on my Kindle. And we are traveling the beginning of May, so that will give me a little bit more options to just take my Kindle and still have a lot of book options. Okay, so we have 9 books on my TBR. So let me just recap here. We have Secondary Target by Angela Carlisle. This is the advanced reader copy that comes out on May the 7th. So it is kind of the one that I want to read first. Then we have The Best of Intentions by Susan Ann Mason. Then we have One Little Lie by Colleen Coble. And The Associate by John Grisham. The Confession by Robert Whitlow. Then The Broker by John Grisham. And then Henley by Shanna Hatfield, and Someone to Trust by Melanie Snitker, and then the BFF free pick, which I don't know what it is yet, and I just threw a book on the floor. Oops. And so whatever book Christine picked, it will be here. So those are my May books. In addition to, I need to get these ones read. So I will be a busy reader once again, but that's okay. I have a lot of law books this month. Right? A lot of law books, a lot of Kindle books, so I got a mix. And then I've got some just fun romance. I hope they are fun romances. We'll see. So what is on your May TBR? Are you planning on partaking in Amanda's Southern Charm Readathon? I wonder if some of these books will fit in that readathon. That is not my reading journal. Let's try this. Bless Your Heart, an emotional, heartwarming book. I don't know. Something with sweet on the cover. Not at this moment in time. Or a sweet story. I don't know until I get into the book. Hot as Blue Blazes, a book with a hot setting. I don't know where some of these books are set. I mean, it's not going to be the Canada one unless it's set in July. Yeah, the other one was set in Washington. Robert Whitlow's books and some of John Grisham's books tend to be set in the South, like Alabama, Mississippi and stuff, so maybe. Again, I don't know where they're set. Then a mystery or a thriller. Hey, One Little Lie. Oh, actually, One Little Lie is set in Alabama. So as long as it's not set in winter, it's set in a hot setting. Okay, so that will fit in mystery or thriller and in the hot setting one. Then we have a book in multiple genres. I'm not sure. A book that you think will be a comfort read. I'm going to say Henley by Shanna Hatfield because a lot of her books have been comfort reads for me. A book with more than one POV. I expect Someone to Trust could be multiple POV because we're following a male and a female. Maybe One Little Lie. Maybe the book Christine chooses. Maybe Secondary Target. I don't know yet. And then a book featuring friendship or family. Well, Someone to Trust is talking about the foster family and the friendship he's made. So hopefully that one. So I should be able to get a lot of Amanda's prompts filled. We'll see what happens. I will check in at the end of the month to tell you how I did. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video today, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.